Potentially there's an estimated 70 gigawatts or more of floating offshore wind generators off the west coast of Ireland. We've repeatedly heard about proposed offshore wind energy projects in Clare. The lack of certainty around planning and consent has proved to be a huge stumbling block for investors, unfortunately. It's also clear that the technology of floating offshore wind is still evolving. Do you believe we should create a pilot designated areas for research into and development of floating offshore energy projects? I believe it would speed up the development of such technologies, ensuring Ireland takes full advantage of the potential of offshore wind, and I'm thinking especially of the coast of Clare, given the onshore facilities on the Shannon Estuary and especially at Moneypoint.
I don't think Ireland has a reputation internationally as a country that's delivering its policy changes in offshore wind energy on time. Offshore wind energy needs to be delivered as an affordable source of electricity to Irish families, Irish businesses, Irish consumers. We're in I suppose, economic competition between the European Union, China and America, and we have in Europe the most expensive electricity, and within Europe, Ireland is one of the most expensive countries for electricity. We really need to focus on trying to bring that down, and that's why one of the pieces of work we're trying to do is to ensure that we can not just develop floating wind energy, but to identify the best way to develop it at the best possible price for the Irish electricity consumer.
How serious do you think government should consider this idea that I put to the floor?
We can't hit a 20 gigawatt target without floating wind energy. So it's definitely an area of policy that the government needs to be giving focus.
And would there be any consequences for the country if we don't?
I suppose what we're trying to achieve is not just decarbonisation of our energy system, but also energy independence. And we can't deliver that with the increase of electrification that we're going to see in the years to come without significant volumes of offshore wind energy. The nature of the Irish seabed means that in terms of the deployment of fixed bottom turbines, the deepest we've gone, I think, is about 60 metres, maybe a little bit more than that. So anything beyond that, we either need to develop additional new fixed bottom projects, or we need to be using the kind of floating projects that you're talking about, Deputy Cooney. And that's why I think it needs to be a critical part of government focus.